Okay, so we're back on Aaron and Sora find the creatures trapped in cages, drained, and Aaron and Sora are trying to understand and figure out why and who's doing this, so they're looking around. And then later you see that the villain who's behind all this is this guy, a guy named Dorama. Him. And apparently he's the firework guy. The one who always has amazing, cool, awesome, fantastic fireworks at the little crossroad carnivals. And everyone loves his show. So apparently he kidnaps these creatures to drain them of their unique energy or essence. So that way he can make more unique and awesome looking fireworks. And Era and Sora didn't think it was worth it to drain those poor creatures just to make a few measly fireworks for one festival until it comes back like next year. So they didn't think it was all that worth it or cool or anything like that. And they were really angry and were going to try to stop him. But then he uses his cane, puts it in a hole, and pushes it like a lever. And it activates this booby trap that Aaron and Sora are on now. And there's these giant axes swinging back and forth, fire shooting everywhere, or coming everywhere, just fire. And so they're trying to dodge or run away from all of the obstacle courses. And Sora now realized that she is going to experience a lot of obstacle courses in life, like Lloyd said. And she also realized that Lloyd was right about training more. So he was right about both things, and she just now realized that. And so she was freaking out trying to dodge them, and they were getting exhausted because it was lasting for too long. And then later we're back on Lloyd. He's still trying to find the ninjas in the crossroad carnivals, walking around the streets and stuff, and being shoved by people time to time here and there and stuff. And it's really hard for him because, like he said, he's never been around much people for quite a while. And so, he's walking around exhausted, wondering how he's ever going to find Aaron and Sora. Then later he looks down and sees, a piece of, red carpet, red fabric, something like that. And so, he picks it up, and he says that it, feels familiar. And then later he, his face got all shocked, and then he, freaked out. And he was like, no, there's no way that those two took my carpet and are walking across town with it. Then he realized more of his little carpet piece was left a trail in the crossroad carnival. And so he realized that, and then he definitely realized that they took his carpet and walked across the carnival with it. And so he was very angry and annoyed and upset. He followed the trail of the pieces of his carpet to find Aaron and Sora. Later you see Aaron and Sora keep trying to escape the booby traps, and Aaron decides to use his grappling hook to get out, and later use a broom to hurry and put back in the hole and use it as a lever again, so that way he could stop all the obstacle courses. And so he was trying to hurry before Sora got hurt, and he finally made it, and Sora was safe, and she was happy and relieved. And so later they went to go try to finally face off Dorama face to face, without any booby traps this time. But Dorama still had a trick up his sleeve. I think he got his cane to press a button this time, and then later a giant, terrible looking puppet appeared. Hold on. I just decided to use this picture. I don't have the picture of the puppet, but giant puppet appeared, dummy, and it was huge, and they were freaking out, and they tried to face it, but it was way too hard. And later, I think it was about to hurt Aaron, and then you hear Lloyd say get away from my student, all tough and cool and stuff. And so then later everyone turns around and they see Lloyd. So then Lloyd comes, does spinjitzu, and cuts the strings, which makes the giant dummy collapse to the ground. And then later, they thought it was over, and Lloyd got his sword next to Dorama, as if they won the fight. And so then Dorama says it isn't over or something like that, and the puppet comes back up without any strings, and it's standing back up again. And Lloyd was all like, "This is my worst nightmare come true." And then Sora was like, "It's all of our worst nightmares come true." And so they're freaking out. And then later the puppet grabbed onto Sora. And so she was like freaking out, calling for help. And it was squeezing her. And she said she can't breathe. And Aaron freaked out. And he like used his grappling hook to take some piece off of a record player? Off of something. And so later he was like freaking out because he was really worried about his friend. So then he just like spun around to spinjitzu, and then later the thing he threw, whatever that was, it started spinning as well, and it hit the monster and it dropped Sora, but it didn't knock out the monster. Lloyd was shocked what Aaron did, and he was like, "You put spinjitzu into an object." He's like wondering how, and Aaron didn't know how he did that. So then Lloyd decided to talk about it later, because right now they got to get rid of and defeat the monster. So he goes and he looks at the monster and he sees gears, and then that gave him an idea. So he like took some of the pieces of his like carpet, and then he went to a fan, turned on the fan, and then let go of the pieces of the carpet and from the fan. And the fan blew the pieces of carpet in the Giant's engines, which got it stuck and all stuck in its gears, really. And later it was like destroyed and stopped moving and stopped attacking. And so then they were wondering how he did that, and Lloyd said that someone told him that when gears are messed up, things don't properly work or function. And so he was talking about Sora, because Sora said that. And so later you see like Dorama like angry and annoyed, and they're like coming close to Dorama, and they said that the authorities will deal with him. So later they trap him in a cage, and he is angry. So later they leave and they go back to the carnival. I don't have the one with Lloyd, so I'm just going with this one. But so they went back to the carnival, and they apologized to Lloyd for stealing his carpet and sneaking out and not really listening to him and all that kind of stuff. And so Lloyd apologized to them as well, which I was shocked by because I didn't think he had anything to apologize for, until he said he realized that training should also be fun and not boring. And then I thought, yeah, that's true. I mean, he was making it kind of boring. And so he said that they should have like a little fun now and then. And so then that reminded Aaron and Sora about the Crossroad Carnival, and they decided to hurry and go, and Aaron wanted to see if he won first place in the pie competition. So they hurry and went to the carnival. And so they're standing with the crowd waiting to see who won, him, like Aaron, or some other guy. And so their little froggy friend, he was about to announce the winner, and he did, and he said first place goes to Aaron's competition, and Aaron was very upset. Then the frog comes next to Aaron, and he's like, "Sorry, but you did your best," and gave him like a second place ribbon. And Aaron was so upset, he just stuck it on his forehead and sighed and looked down. And Lloyd and Sora felt so bad for him. And then Lloyd smiled, and he was like, "Cheer up, Aaron, there's always next year." And then Aaron was all like, "Next year?" And Lloyd took off the ribbon from his forehead and like stuck it like put it on his chest instead. And so they was like, "Yeah, we don't want to miss another time of the carnival." And so then Sora was like, "Yeah, exactly." And they were talking about like for now they could just have fun at this carnival. And she was talking about how she wants to try out new yummy foods, and how Lloyd thought it was a great idea for them to be snacking, like have a little snack party or something. And so Aaron was like, "Shouldn't we be training though?" And he was like, "There's always next time to train, like tomorrow." And then he said that they'd still have to wake up at dawn, like they still have to wake up at dawn. And Sora was very unhappy and upset about that. But Aaron didn't mind. And then later they were all enjoying themselves, laughing and having a good time. Mainly just laughing, really. But you know later on that they'll have a good time at the carnival. And then later it was back to Dorama. So you see him in there waiting and waiting, all miserable and upset, just sitting down in there. And then later you see someone like walking up and approaching him. And so he thinks it's the authorities finally here. And then later, the voice like kind of sounds familiar. And Dorama's like shocked because I guess he wasn't expecting that kind of tone or voice or something like that. So he turns around, and it's that weird furry creature thing that bosses Raptor around. Raptor, yeah, I think that's his name. That bothers Raptor around. And so he, like, the furry creature guy, whose name I don't remember at all, he was talking to Dorama, saying that he could use him for something and how he could get revenge on the ninjas who wronged him and trapped him in here and all that kind of stuff if he works for him and the Class of Imperium. And so Dorama agreed, he set him free, and those two teamed up and joined together. And yeah, that's pretty much it.